1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Hot laps going on here at Antioch Speedway. Some of the drivers for the wingless sprint cars here tonight include Chase Magic out of Redding, California. Max Matry also out of Redding, California. Caleb Montgomery is here tonight. Bert Folan Jr. out of Campbell, California. Matt DiMartini, he's out of Brentwood, California. Billy Aton out of Benicia, California. Former champion here at Antioch Speedway. Caden Surali out of Stockton, California is here tonight in the 32 car. The 38 of Colby Johnson out of Pengrove, California. The 49 car, that's Mike Monahan out of Livermore, California. Or, I'm sorry, Sparks, Nevada. Travis Labatt out of Livermore, California. And then Jason Bright, he's out of Byron, California. Brent Barney out of Rohnert Park, California. Jacob Tuttle, our defending 2019 360 wing sprint car champion out of Oakley, California. And the 88A of Joey Rocket Encana out of Concord, California. That is our field for the 360 wing sprint cars here tonight at Antioch Speedway. 3/8 mile high banked oval here at Antioch, California. We're about 40 miles to the northeast of San Francisco, California. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, check.
Says it's good. Thank you.
Right?
What's that?
Who are we contacting when we go live and stuff? Somebody, I assume we have to talk to.
So I believe the person's going to be the Chris Grainer guy I'm in contact with. He has the ability to basically, you let him know, hey, we're good to go. And it's basically a flip of a switch for him. And he says, all right, you're live. Good, you're good to go.
Get his number, whoever it is.
Yeah. By the way, I'm Jeff. I don't know if I'm
Jeff, Wiley Wade.
Wiley Wade. And you mentioned that at the beginning of this, when we go live, moments, the whole tripod wants to just go with you. You want to do it right now? I'll let you know. Oh, you know what? Right before we do that, we've seen those down in Bakersfield. All right, I am going to organize this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Antioch Speedway. We are live on AntiochSpeedway.tv. I've been teasing for a couple weeks. I'm Wiley Wade about a big announcement, and here it is. A couple weeks early, but we've gone live on AntiochSpeedway.tv for the remainder of this season and the next couple seasons. This is the place to be for all the action live from Antioch Speedway when you can't be here in the stands. Right now, as you see out on the racetrack, you got Chris Bennett in his number 22 IMCA stock car. He went out to Iowa on the 4th of July weekend, bought this race car. He's preparing for the 2021 season when Antioch Speedway brings the IMCA stock cars to Antioch Speedway. Chris Sorensen, I just saw this past week, has got himself one. Works. We are going IMCA stock car racing come 2021 racing season here at Antioch Speedway. That's what they look like. They put on great shows. I'll be putting Wiley's Race Report special out for these in the near future. You don't want to miss it. But folks, just want to say welcome to Antioch Speedway. We are live and we are going to have a great racing night tonight, but we're live on AntiochSpeedway.tv. It is now our home for all the racing action on our streaming service, and we want to say thank you for tuning in. We look forward to having you here each and every Saturday night, and then when you come out here, you can still watch on your phone as well and see the replays and stuff as we build this up. This is just the beginning. We're getting the equipment tonight. We're going to make this bigger and better as time goes on. You don't want to miss it. Again, Antioch Speedway TV is the place to be, and thank you for tuning in and supporting Antioch Speedway.
All right, folks. Well, as you heard there, can't wait to kick things off here tonight. Antioch Speedway TV the Kickoff. This is going to be something that you're going to be able to tune in for every time racing is here at Antioch Speedway. It should be a whole lot of fun. I'm Jeffrey Best. You may know me from Low Budget TV. I'm joining in on the fun here tonight as we get ready to go. We're going to have some heat racing action. I see some hardtops lining up. 4 divisions of racing here tonight, and we will be going racing here in just a few minutes. So sit tight, make sure you got your snacks and drinks ready to go because you're probably in air conditioning, and we know that you much rather would be out of it and here at the track. But hey, if this is the next best thing, we're going to run with it. Antioch Speedway TV, thank you so much for joining in here tonight. And hey, if you are tuning in right now and you're ahead of the game and you're saying, sweet, I'm all set up here, maybe people you know that want to be here too just didn't realize, oh, Antioch Speedway TV is a thing. So spread the word, let people know, tell your friends and family. They can check out all the racing action as well. Antioch Speedway TV, your racing destination for all Antioch Speedway action.
As we get set for racing action, real quick, just touch base on our schedule. Of course, tonight we got the 360 wing sprint cars here, the Delta Dwarf cars, Super Stocks, and the Hardtops. Next Saturday, August 8th, the IMCA Sport Modifieds, IMCA Modifieds. Special show on Wednesday, August 12th. It is the California Tour, and the IMCA Modified, Sport Modifieds, and the Hobby Stocks will return on Wednesday night, August 12th, and of course we'll be live here on AntiochSpeedway.tv. And on Saturday the 15th, the wingless sprint cars will be in town, along with the Delta Dwarf cars, the Super Stocks, and the BCRA Midgets will be here. That's on Saturday, August 15th. On Saturday the 22nd, the originally scheduled on the 8th was the Jerry Hetrick Memorial Race. We did move that to the 22nd. And we'll have the IMCA Modifieds, IMCA Sport Modifieds, Hobby Stocks, and the Valley Four-Bangers on Saturday the 22nd. And the final Saturday of the month of August, the Delta Dwarf cars on the 29th of August, the wingless sprint cars, Super Stocks, Tri-State Pro Stocks, and the Valley Four-Bangers. Give the starting lineup for heat race number 1 for the vintage hardtops. These are cars from the 40s. Some of them from the 30s. On the point for heat race number 1 out of Turlock, California, driving a 1939 Ford. It is the 121 of Jeff West. Outside the front row, out of West Sacramento, driving a 1935 Chevy sedan. This is the 56 car of Roland Ron Ruiz. Row 2, out of Vacaville, driving a 1940 Ford Coupe. It's the 100 car, formerly Larry DeMint's car. Or maybe always Larry DeMint's car. It's the Flying Hawaiian Kimo Aretta. Outside row number 2, out of Placerville, California, out of 1930 Ford. It's the 27 car of the Rocket Man, Ken Clifford. And at the back of the pack, out of San Jose, California, driving a 1934 Ford. It's the 16 car of Joel Hannigan. That's your starting lineup for heat race number 1 for the vintage hardtops. Send it out to Jeff.
All right, folks, hardtops. I don't know about you, but this is one of my favorite divisions in existence. Maybe if I was around when these cars were a little more of a regular thing, maybe I'd chill out a little bit more with it, but absolutely love this division. You heard the starting lineup there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these machines. So we'll have 2 heat races for the vintage hardtops. The Flying Hawaiian. I don't care where you race, where you're from. If you hear Flying Hawaiian, you know that that's going to be one fast pineapple on the racetrack. Cars they've already done their hot laps, kind of set the track in. We did have a little bit of action over in the corner, one of the sprint cars catching the wall. I don't believe it was too bad of contact. However, it will be something that we'll be checking out.
Everyone except for the weight, 6-lap heat race, the weights are on 8 laps.
6-lap heat races here tonight, except for our wing sprint cars. They will be 8-lap heat races in duration. See our dear old wonderful scoring pylon on the back straightaway. These cars getting kind of set into place. It looks like the flagman's indicating, hey, it's time to go racing. Let's double up. Let's file it in. Again, folks, I'm Jeffrey Best from Low Budget TV. Lowbudget.tv. We get around a little bit. However, I'm definitely much further around than I anticipated here this weekend because I'm in Antioch. At one point this week, I was like, you know, what would be a good track to go to? And Antioch Speedway, obviously, was the first one that went through my mind. Had a nice 5-hour excursion north to get up here. The drive was smooth, and I know all these drivers are hoping they could say the same thing after tonight's racing action here on Antioch Speedway TV. Green flag, 6-lap heat race. We're racing. So anybody that typically knows vintage racing, you don't always think hard, beating and banging. You wouldn't assume that's the type of race you're going to see. These are not your typical vintage race cars, nor are they your typical vintage race car drivers. These drivers are going to push these cars to the limit as the Flying Hawaiian is showing ahead of the field. Side-by-side action, it's the battle for third. Gonna slip back to fourth, however. 56 is slipping back. Roland Ron Ruiz. Under pressure from the 121 machine, Jeff West. Now, I just told you my name's Jeff Best, so when I hear Jeff West on the racetrack, I'm like, whoa, almost cousin. Sweet. Battle here out of turn number 4. Remember, 6 laps. We're on lap. I lost count, but we have a battle for the lead. Say I lost count. I got to get used to their scoring pylon, which I believe is counting down side by side for the lead. Heat race number 1. Do you believe me yet? White flag. Hannigan going to take the lead and going to run away with it here. Taking it from the Flying Hawaiian out of turn number 4. Hannigan takes the win. Trouble for the 121 machine. You see there going through the infield. Car seems to be off the pace, so some mechanical issue. As we get ready for heat race number 2 here tonight. Again, thank you for joining us on Antioch Speedway TV. Now we get ready for our next heat race.
Race number 2 for the Hardtops getting ready to come out. Here's your starting lineup. The 45T car is going to start on the point. It's a 1938 Pontiac. Dave Reed out of West Sacramento. Outside the front row will be the 1 car. That's Dave Mackey out of Antioch. He's driving a 37 Ford Coupe. Row 2, the 27C of Ken Rocketman Clifford out of Placerville. It's a 1930 Ford. And at the back of the pack outside row number 2, the 77M, Mike Friesen. He's out of Houston, California, driving a 1941 Plymouth. That's your starting lineup for heat race number 2 for the Hardtops.
Gotta love that sound. 1 to go till we're racing. I'm like a crew chief. I'm making a last-minute adjustment here. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, you heard the starting lineup for the Hardtops as they get ready for their second heat race. 3 cars in the field. Dave Reed going to start us on the pole. We'll see if he's able to stay there. Going to get chased down, it looks like. Mackey in the number 1 machine. Now the fun part is in a division of this size, as we go side by side for the lead, it's going to be Mackey taking the lead here into turn number 1, but look at this, maybe another challenge out of turn number 2. Nope, it's not going to happen. We can dream. But I was going to say, in a division this size, they still found a way to double the numbers. Here's the 27 machine. Mackey a little sideways out of turn number 4, but we like him a little sideways. This track, looks like a mechanical issue for the 45 here. That's Reed over on the back straightaway, and I think this might bring out a yellow. No? I think everyone's acknowledging the yellow. There we go. Now there's the yellow. Now the yellow's out. Everyone had already slowed down. They're like, well, we might as well add it in with a little bit of a flag wave and blinky lights. So that's Reed's machine over in turn number 3 that has become rather lifeless and quiet. And, well, we just don't like quiet race cars, so we're going to get rid of that one. As, I'm going to pull out here. Again, Antioch Speedway TV. The Kickoff. My keys and my drink. You're good. Can't stress this enough. It's a warm one. But I will say, not near as bad as I was anticipating today. At one point this week, I was going to be down in San Bernardino. Let's just say that they have like a 15-degree advantage on us, and well, I don't. That doesn't sound too exciting to me. But the racing, I mean, racing's exciting. All right. Well, we have slimmed the field up by 33%. It is going to be a drag race. And we're green. Am I right? I think the 27 just took the lead. All right. What an upset. I don't know if either the one's playing or the 27 is going to come out. I think we're going to get a photo finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Who is it going to be? Oh, the one sideways. I think this would be the biggest upset of the heat races that we've seen so far today. White flag is going to come out for the 27 machine. I don't know if Mackey's going to be able to get there. Will we have a photo finish? How hard do you push it for a heat race victory? Oh, it's going to be close. The 27 takes it. What an upset. We need to interview him. Now that was the ultimate form right there. That's how you, I mean, that's just slow and steady wins the race, ladies and gentlemen. Slow and steady has prevailed here tonight. Yeah, bye.
Up next, we got the Dwarf cars in action. Heat race number 1. 3 heat races for the Dwarf cars, six laps. Butch Mike Casaro out of Tracy, California. Starting on the point outside the front row is the 68 Double D, normally driven by Dynamite Dave Rosa. Tonight, his son, David Michael Rosa, from Antioch, California, behind the wheel. Row 2, the 99N, that's Gage Myers out of Placerville, California, and outside of him, the 17 Double D of Jeff Benecourt. Row 3, the 47 car, that's Myro Marquez out of Tracy, and the 52 Double D of Chuck Conover out of Pittsburgh, California. And at the back of the pack, the 01 car of David Casaro, also out of Tracy, California. That's your starting lineup for heat race number 1 for the Dwarf cars.
Dwarf cars being told it's time to double up. If at times you see this camera shake, folks, I promise you it is not, unless I specify otherwise, a California Quaker. We did have had one of those earlier this week. You're good. All right. If you notice, the flagman, just like every flagman I ever see at every track, is feeling neglected and ignored, saying, why does this happen to me? Why don't drivers obey? I'm here to wave the flag. I tell you when to go. You go when I tell you to go. But, I mean, can you truly blame a race car driver? Butch in that 00 DD machine, he was just ready to go. Now, I do say Butch, but I did hear that we potentially had a driver change in that car. There we go. So I should probably stick to the last name because I know the last name stayed consistent there. But that's one thing I've always loved about dirt track racing is you always get these drivers and crews and these intermingling. You never really know who's going to be in what car what day. Green flag that time. Calsaro into turn number 1. Oh, yeah. We're good. Cole Trickle making a move to the inside and going to spin it out and loop it. Oh. And just like that, the big one has occurred here at Antioch Speedway. Started out when the 99 machine, Myers jumps to the lead, but maybe threw it in a little bit too hard. Dirt track racing, ever-changing track conditions, even from one lap to the next, things can change pretty drastically. When it's your first few laps on track, as a race car driver, it's essentially your job to push it, to find out where that line is going to be. Yeah, as we have everything going and rolling here, they're going to get the 01 machine out of there. I just noticed there's many Calsaros here. Calsaro, is that how you say the name? Oh, okay. I was asking so we're right now prepping, like we said, Antioch Speedway TV. I'm up here helping them get everything ready and running, and I wanted to. Well, that's his Corsaro. Oh, you know what? I love you race car drivers. I love you race teams. I love Dwarf cars. It's all fun and it's all good. What is it? Corsaro? Calsaro? Green flag. The last thing we want to do is butcher someone's name. However, I can almost promise you I may do it throughout the night. If I do it, it just means I'm secretly favoring you to win. So take it the right way. Side-by-side battle for second into turn number 1. It's going to end up being a battle for the lead out of turn number 2. Marquez making a move on that inside line and going to have the lead at the line. Top 5. Oh, the 68 is going to loop it out of, well, in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Had our share of action in this heat race. Driver looking to have no more action is the one in the lead. Marquez seeing the white flag fly. Wants to bring it home. All right, through the back straightaway. Here's second place trying to close in out of turn number 4. The 47 of Mario Marquez. Oh, the 68 just went back to the future on the back straightaway. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The 01 looks like a broken RC car, except those are a lot less expensive. Oh, that's not favorable. So the 01 machine with an issue. So with that, we have heat race number 2 coming up.
Double D of Chance Russell. He's out of Rio Vista, California. Outside the front row, the 31 Double D, Ellie Rousseau. If you're curious what the Double D means, that's the Delta Dwarf Cars. That is the club name, so all members of the club have Double D at the end. Row 2, the 18 Double D, that's Devin Cameron. He's out of Dublin, California. And outside of him, the 2019 Delta Dwarf Car champion here at Antioch Speedway, Scott Dahlgreen out of Balico, California. Row 3, the 40 Double D, that's Kevin Moralio out of Pleasanton, California. And the 51N outside of him, that's Bobby Johnson. He's out of Fairfield, California. That's your starting lineup for heat race number 2 for the Delta Dwarf Cars.
All right, heat race 2. You got the lineup. Wiley Wade in-house tonight. I know he's all excited about this Antioch TV. So we get ready, 6 laps. And huge numbers, as Russell shows us. You could go all the way up to the 800s in this division. We have a 0 and an 812. Combine them and you have, well, 812. Green flag. Are they going to go 3 wide into turn number 1? I thought they were going to go 4. How do you not love heat races? I mean, you just have to love heat races. Turn number 4, flying out of there, utilizing that high line is that number 40 machine. Morelio on the outside. Russell on the inside, battle for the lead. Oh, one car flying off the racetrack. I believe they did it intentionally, but it sure looked exciting to me. The 0 machine has also left. That's Timmy Ryan. And the additional car that is off He's looking for a number. Just missed it. Out of turn number 4, the 40 machine sees the white flag. Morelio looking to bring this one home. Battle for seconds, the good one. And through, look at that slide job. Morelio takes the win. And still the 812 machine is able to bring it home into the second spot. Nice racing in the Dwarf cars. Heat race 3 coming up next.
Heat race number 2, Kevin Morelli, winner a couple weekends ago here at Antioch Speedway in the regional event for the Delta Dwarf cars. Takes home the win. And last lap of 16.49, second lap, 868 miles an hour. Fast racetrack here tonight. Heat race number 3 for the Delta Dwarf cars. On the point, 54 GDD Michael Bauer. He drops to the back of the pack. That moves Toby Brown up to that point. Outside of front row, 88 D Travis Day. Inside row 2, the 04 of Troy Stevenson. Outside of him will be the 36 D of Dennis Gilcrease. Then you got the Michael Bauer and the 54 GDD, and outside of him, the 4 car of Chris Becker. That's the starting lineup for heat race number 3.
Oh, yeah. Out of turn number 4, 75 going to have a nice little lead here. Little sideways for the 54G machine, but he was able to gather it up. That was Bauer. Lost a little bit, but all good. 75, Toby Brown, Arledo. Second place is going to lose it. Loop it, mash the gas, 360. Stevenson putting on a little bit of a show as the 4 machine gets into the wall behind him. That's Becker. Becker knocking down the wall just a bit, but that car continues on. Maybe got away with no suspension damage. This track is very unforgiving if you overdo the corners. You do not want to overdrive turn 1 or turn 4. The last time Tom and I were here, about a year and a half ago, we had a car go upside down. Brown taking the white flag, final lap. Down the back straightaway. Looks like the 4 machine may have some damage. Oh, around in front of you, leader. Let's just make it extra exciting. Checkered flag. Stay on the track. Oh. Safe. Safe. Woo. Ain't no rest for the weary. That was exciting. Looks like the super stocks are coming up next.
Congratulations to our winners for the Dwarf Car Heat races. Up next, we got the Super Sox getting ready to roll out. Real quick, want to say happy birthday, Andrea. She is our score person. It is her birthday today, so happy birthday to Andrea. 25 years old. Andrea, congratulations on that. All right, so, Super Sox coming up next. 6-lap heat races on the point. For heat race number 1, we'll see if he falls to the back of the pack. Chris Bennett scheduled to start up there in his IMCA stock car. He's running with the Super Sox here this week. Outside the front row, the 11H, that is Mike Learn out of Petaluma, California. Row 2, the 94 car, Chad Hammer out of Antioch, California. And the 13A of Mike Welko is outside of him. He's also out of Antioch. The back of the pack, the 48 car of John Evans. Right now we are missing one car. The Mike Learn, the Chad Hammer car. Here he comes. 94 making his way out in that Jay's Mobile Welding, BRG Racing, and Dyno Chad Hammer Racing Engine sponsored number 94 car. Chris Bennett again on that IMCA stock car on the point. Mike Learn, Adlight Crane, Williams Automotive of Johnny Franklin sponsorship on that car. John Evans in the 48. Mike Welko in the 13A. Bass Medical Group and Heartburn Center of California. Fancy Hoofs and Stan's Transmissions and Differentials sponsorship. They're over there in Byron in that 13A. With that, let's send it back out to Jeff.
All right, thank you, Wiley Wade, as we get ready for the first of the Super Stocks or Pro Stocks. I noticed that they put in parentheses, so they call them both here. We're going racing. Now, I know that they've been talking a little bit about it, but this 22 machine, an IMCA stock car that they're working on trying to build the interest out here on this track for this division. So this is a kind of a big deal. 4-1 out of turn 4. All I gotta say is the stock car class that this 22 is from, we've seen it down further south, and these cars put on a show. From what we've heard from a bunch of not just hobby stock drivers, but drivers that have even moved from the modifieds and all over the place, these guys love these cars, love the speed, love the feel, and they put on great shows. So if this is a division that Antioch is looking to be a part of, that is nothing but excitement. I guarantee you, as we have a battle for the lead starting to brew up. Mike Learn, your leader. 2 laps to go over the 94 machine of Hammer. Will Hammer drop it? We'll find out. Not side by side, but closing in there into turn number 3. Looking on that inside line, trying to go where Learn isn't. Hammer gonna go to that outside line. And it'll be checkered flag. One goes wide, one goes low. Learn will make it back to the line. And that does it for heat race number 1. For the Super Stocks.
Heat race number 1, taken home by Mike Lernan at 11H. Last lap, a 17.90 second lap, 75.419 miles an hour. Heat race number 2 coming up right now. On the point, the 77 car out of Antioch, J. Keith Trucking, Hot Shots Motorsports Photography, A1 Transmission, Lloyd Engineering, sponsored number 77 of Chris Long. Outside the front row, the 99 of Jim Freethy out of Danville, and Cresco, Mark Scott Construction, Freethy Excavation, and Reiling Racing sponsorship on the 99 of Jim Freethy. Row 2, the 111 car of Joey Ridgway Sr. out of Brentwood. His sponsor is his wife. Outside the front row, the 92 car of Jay Bryant, Jay's Mobile Welding, DeCarlo Racing Products, Chan Hammer Racing Engines, and Motion Media. Sponsorship on the 92 car. And at the back of the pack, the 65 car, Danica Garrettson out of Nevada. Sponsorship on that 65 car.
Green flag, heat race number 2 for the Super Stocks. Side by side for the lead out of turn number 4, the 99 making that early look. But a little bit of smoke maybe coming from the 99. Freethy, you're going to want to keep an eye on that. The 77 leads Chris Long on that car. Good to have a number on the high end in this race. The lowest number is 65. That's rather unusual. See the 92 closing in on this battle. Oh, don't go that high. Bryant in that 92 machine moves into the second spot. and the 111 of Ridgeway is 4th. Garrettson rounds out the field in the 5th position, the 99, your leader. Looks like the battle for 2nd might be the best one on track with 2 laps to go. White flag. Antioch Speedway TV. Checker flag gonna fly. It will be the 99. Jim Freely crossing the line. Your winner. That car looking good for the mains here tonight. One more car needs to cross the line, and now the flagman can rest. Luckily, the flagman, the way this whole track's set up, we do not lack in shade here. As a race fan, we can all truly appreciate that, I'm sure.
As we get set for the 360 wing sprint car, I just want to mention that Jim Freely taking the winner of that last race for the Super Sox, a 16.70 second lap, 80.838 miles an hour. That car won last time out here at Antioch with Fast Freddie Ryland behind the wheel. Jim back behind it tonight. With that, we're going 360 wing sprint car racing. 2 heat races for the sprint cars, going 8 laps each. Heat race on the point for heat race number 1. Out of Benicia, California, Billy Aton Painting, D&H Construction Services, and MTFX Graphics sponsorship on the 26 car. That's Billy Aton. Outside the front row are 2019 champion for the 360 wing sprint cars, Line X Customs, Black Bear Dining in Oakley, Contra Costa Radiator in Rio Vista, Diablo Pools, and Despite Clothing sponsorship on the 87P, Jacob Tuttle. Again, he's out of Oakley. In the 3rd starting spot out of Sparks, Nevada, Maxim Chassis with Superior Hydraulic sponsorship on the 49 car. That's Mike Monahan. Outside row 2, it's the 3 car of Caleb Montgomery. Row 3, out of Romus, California, North County Plastering, Sandblast Services, Alkaline 88 Water, Roadside 24 Service, and Schultz Towing sponsorship on the 17 car of Justin Sanders. Outside row number 3, out of Redding, California, Mitri Construction, Shark Racing Engines, Kevin Sahara Designs, and Aria Helmet sponsorship on the 2XM. He is a scratch. He was scheduled to start 6th. He had some problems in the warm-ups in hot laps and hit the wall in turn number 1. They're not able to get that car fixed, so he is scratched for the night. That'll slide the 32 car up into that 6th starting spot. Caden Sarali out of Stockton, California with Teltac, SB Properties, Sral Farms, and Panella Racing Engine sponsorship on that 32 car. And at the back of the pack out of Byron, California, Keating Performance, JBR, CH Reynolds, and SNS Automotive sponsorship on the 68 of Jason Bright. Your starting lineup for heat race number 1 for the 360 wing sprint cars here tonight at Antioch Speedway, live on Antioch Speedway TV. Thanks for tuning in. Back out to Jeff.
All right, Wiley Wade. So, like we have discussed a little bit here, Antioch Speedway TV, make sure that you're all hip to the skip on this one. I know this is a big, exciting announcement here for Antioch Speedway, and I'm happy to be out here to get this ball rolling. As they got a great crew getting ready to put on some shows for you folks. And as mentioned, like, this is a service that even if you're at the track, you can have it on your phone. They're looking to have a setup with replays at some point and all that. So that in itself would be exciting, because we know how many times you're at the track, you're looking in one direction, something happens over in the other. If they catch it, bam. Oh, that's what happened. And then you get to be the cool cat who everyone gets to get around in the grandstands, who goes, wait, what happened? What happened? But obviously, first and foremost, the first thing that we can't wait for is when we eventually get all of our great racing fans back in the grandstands. This right here, this doesn't look right. There should be someone here and here. Not there, but there, and there. There should be fans all over here in the grandstands at Antioch, and they can't wait to welcome you all back. But this obviously unprecedented times that we're living through right now with the pandemic. It's a reality of the situation, but for me, I want to give props to Antioch Speedway because it is not easy. Don't kid yourself. It is not easy to be doing what they're doing here, running a racing schedule without fans in the grandstands. From every aspect, whether it's, especially if you want to talk the business side of it. But what they're doing is they are keeping racing going here at Antioch. And obviously I know each and every one of the drivers and crew members and family members, everybody is excited about what's going on here this weekend and continuing on. So what they've been able to do here, it really should be applauded, and I, for one, not being necessarily a regular here at Antioch, I know that I have huge appreciation for each and every track that is making ends meet during this time. So Antioch Speedway, I give a big thumbs up to, and yeah, I can't wait to see what the future holds, not only with the TV side of it here, but obviously I can't wait to keep tabs with all the great racing that we always get to see here at Antioch Speedway, and I can't wait to come back. I've already been that light has been refired for me. I've always enjoyed this track. We've come out for a number of shows here in the past, and this is always a track that you're going to get some racing. I mean, and when I say some racing, I'm not just saying like the general term of racing. I mean like watch out. These walls here, this track might look like your typical, okay, you got your dirt track corners, but there's something about this track that tightens up in the corners. Even though it looks like it widens out in the center, like follow me here, cameraman. There you go. Don't worry. I know that sounded like a gunshot, but trust me, it was a backfire. So taking a look over here in this corner, one thing that we oftentimes see is cars will throw it in, but it seems like there's almost like a fall-off point where if you go too wide, and we've seen it a few times during these heat races, you go too wide, you can catch that wall. You catch that wall, you're going to regret it. You do not want to put it in too wide, and these cars especially don't want to be catching the wall, although we have had a few already get into it during our hot lap. So if that's any indicator of the kind of night that might be ahead of us, well, I don't know if you have seatbelts installed on your couch, but it's time to get them. Again, I'm Jeffrey Best with Low Budget TV here with Antioch Speedway TV this weekend. Happy to have you on board, joining in on all the great racing action. It's just getting started. Heat racing. Billy Atton on the pole starting spot for this heat race. Tuttle on the outside. And Tuttle no longer on the outside. Tuttle went way to the outside. Tuttle went so outside that he's in the pit area now. Now we're 3 wide down the back straightaway. Chaos has ensued. Well, that's not good. That's not how you want to start your night. So potential mechanical issues for the 87 as we go green. Montgomery on that outside line. Oh, it gets tight out of turn number 4. We talked about it already. Risk versus reward. Maybe no greater phrasing than with winged sprint cars. 360 winged sprint cars Diving into turn number 1. Each of these heat races are 8 laps. Five laps to go left in this heat race. Your leader catches the wall down the back straightaway. Anton had a moment. And now that's going to allow Montgomery maybe to close back in. The 32 machine closing in from behind. Sorelli. Oh boy. These are the cars where even if they're not side by side, you don't know where to look. It's going to be maybe a battle for the lead here. 2 laps to go. Will Caleb Montgomery be able to get their battle for third also happening here? You see it just a tip of the iceberg back as the white flag comes out. Anton trying to hold on. Montgomery's going to throw it in here. Almost getting into each other. I don't think they're done. Out of turn number 4, Anton's going to hold on to it. What a race. By the way, that was just a heat race. Oh my goodness. These drivers going at it here at Antioch Speedway. Launching Antioch Speedway TV today. Guess where from? Antioch Speedway. Man, it's been some great racing we've seen, and we're going to have a little peek here happening on Facebook. You're checking it out right now as we are showing our heat races for the 360 wing sprints, and we're going to get our next bit for the starting lineup.
Heat race number 2 looking like this on the point outside or inside the front row out of Brentwood, California. Moeller Brothers Body Shop, Contra Costa Radiator, Joel Saver Backhoe Service, and Linex Construction. Linex sponsorship on the 6 car, Matt DiMartini. Outside the front row, out of Roner Park, California, Info Mechanical, Afex Graphics, and Metcalf's Machine sponsorship on the 78 car. That's Brett Barney. Row 2, inside the 2X of Chase Magic with Mitri Construction, Shark Racing Engines, Kevin Sarah Designs, and Aria Helmet sponsorship. Chase Magic out of Redding, California, inside row 2. Outside the 88A of Joey Rocket Anaconda out of Concord. Swindell Speed Labs, Melrose Powder Coating sponsorship on that car. Inside row 3, the 61 car, Travis Labatt out of Livermore, California. Bay Area Tile, Moss Brothers Powder Coating sponsorship on that car. Outside of him, the 4 car, Bert Folan Jr. out of Campbell, California, with Keating Performance sponsorship on the 4 car. At the back of the pack, the 38 car, that's Colby Johnson out of Pengrove, California, pitstopusa.com. TI-22 Performance and Quick Car Racing Products, and Johnny Franco Muffler sponsorship on that car. That's your starting lineup for heat race number 2 for the 360 wing sprint cars.
All right, and like we said, we're doing a little bit of a peek here on Facebook, letting everybody know, hey, we are live at Antioch Speedway. Antioch Speedway TV is launching officially this weekend, and we're getting ready to go racing. Green flag, 8 laps. It happens fast here. And we got 4 divisions ready to go with some great racing side by side for the lead. Magic to the inside. DiMartini on the outside, going way up there. And Kana sitting there in the 3rd position, trying to find a way around. 5 laps left. And you see another battle for the 4th spot. Side by side for 2nd. So it looks like the 2X machine looking to gap just a little bit. A little bit of give and take we see there in the battle for 2nd, but don't anticipate that's going to happen a lot here tonight. Time by to be 2 laps to go. Battle for second is hot. And Kanda looking for a slide job out of turn number 2. The 6 machine was thinking about looking low, dipping. The 38 slides it in. White flag for the 2X. Magic looking for the win of the heat race. The 38 machine of Johnson going to take over the second spot. Out of turn number 4, it is Magic in the 2X machine. Johnson going to take home that second spot. All right, so a little bit of a preview there as we open the blinds here on Facebook in Antioch, Antioch Speedway TV, low budget TV, as we are here. Antioch Speedway, 4 divisions racing here tonight. The 360 wing sprints, the vintage hardtops, dwarf cars in the house, and super stocks racing. That's going to be it for our heat races. However, we have some really exciting main events for sure to come your way if the heat races have been any indication. So be sure to join us here, like we said, Antioch Speedway TV, low budget TV. Yeah, we can't wait to bring this all to you. Now, we opened up these blinds here on Facebook, but unfortunately the blinds can only stay open so long. So that was a little bit of a taste that we're giving you guys. I see some of the push trucks on their way off the racetrack. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. So this is intermission time. When we come back, we will be watching main events. So join us, again, like we said, Antioch Speedway TV launching here officially, as well as low budget TV. So so excited to be here, be having a good old time with everybody. Wiley Wade hanging out here. He's gonna be the fun old voice that you guys get to hang out with on these Antioch Speedway TV shows. So I have no doubt in my mind you're all going to be having fun. Obviously, we understand, just like the rest of you, that there's nothing like being at the racetrack. But hey, I feel like this is our best alternative right now, and Antioch's been absolutely busting their butts to get these shows going, and now with the Antioch Speedway TV, I'd say they're set on the they're going for the home run here. So we want to thank again each and every one of you who have already subscribed for the night. But if you're taking that peek on Facebook, make sure that you check out again the links here on Facebook. Join us for a night full of racing action here at Antioch Speedway TV. We'll be back to racing here in just a few minutes after we're done with some track prep. just double check that we're out. All right, folks. Well, just as a heads up, we'll be back to racing in approximately 10 minutes. Let's say 8 on your half to be safe. And yeah, we will probably pipe up some music for you all as I just make sure that we're off the Facebook. Again, it's not too late for your friends and family to join in on the fun. If anybody's not tuned in for the night, they certainly can join us here, Antioch Speedway TV.
Antioch Speedway in Antioch, California. We're about 40 miles outside of San Francisco, California, to the northeast. We have got all our heat races in, and I want to say welcome to the first ever broadcast on Antioch Speedway TV. That's right, we have our own show now, Antioch Speedway TV, the place to be for all the racing action coming live and direct from Antioch Speedway. It's time for the national anthem and our main events. If you're a member of the military or former member of the military, thank you for your service to your country. If you're a first responder, thank you for your service to your community. Tonight, going to bring out Melanie May for our rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Melanie May for our Star-Spangled Banner tonight here from Antioch Speedway. Thanks for tuning in on Antioch Speedway TV. Well, the national anthem is done. The heat races are run. That means it is time to get set for main event action. Up first will be our vintage hardtops taken to the racetrack for $20-lap main event for the vintage hardtops. Got some really cool cars in this division. They're lining up back in staging. Again, make sure you keep an eye on our website at www.antiochspeedway.com, www.antiochspeedway.com. The live feeds for the races are on AntiochSpeedway.tv, AntiochSpeedway.tv. There is a new official Facebook page for Antioch Speedway. It is now Antioch Speedway by Promotions. Antioch Speedway by Promotions. Make sure you make that switch. That is the new official Facebook page for Antioch Speedway. Of course, you can always keep an eye on mine at Antioch Speedway Announcer on Facebook for all the latest and greatest of my videos and stuff. Also on YouTube, Antioch Speedway Announcer. I am Wiley Wade, the track announcer here. Thanks for tuning in to Antioch Speedway TV. Joel Hannigan took home the win in heat race number 1 for the vintage hardtops, and Rocketman Ken Clifford took home heat race number 2. He's out of Placerville driving a 1930 Ford is what he was driving. As we get set for the hardtops to roll off, give you the starting lineup, and it looks like this. On the point, out of West Sacramento driving a 1938 Pontiac, it's the 45 car of David Reed. Dave Reed out of West Sacramento in the 45 car on the point. In the second spot, trying to confirm I got 227. So in the second spot, out of Turlock, California, Lullen Painting, Mike Frazian, and Jeff West sponsorship on the 27 of Gary Hildebrandt in that 1949 3/4 ton Ford F6. Row 2, it's the one car out of Antioch with Jim Perry Race Engines, Gary Towing and Transport, Extreme Racing Products, BRG Racing. No, we're doing... Inside row 2, the one car of Dave Mackey. Outside row 2, the 100 car of the Flying Hawaiian Kimo Rivetta out of Vacaville. Bailey Brothers and Vallejo Masonry sponsorship on that car. Row 3, the 56 car. Roland Ron Ruiz out of West Sacramento. Adco Drivelines, Armstrong Racing, and NCP Motor sponsorship on that car. Outside of him, it is the 16 car. The winner of heat race number 1 out of San Jose, Junkyard Dog Hardtop and Ray's Crazy sponsorship of Joel Hannigan. At the back of the pack, the 121 of Jeff West out of Turlock, California. Rusty Roost Garage in Houston, California is in the 121. Let's send it out to Jeff for our car for the Hardtops.
All right, we saw the heats. It's time for the main 20 laps of heat or main event action. Vintage Hardtops into turn number 1. Oh yeah. With some divisions, like you get like Bombers or American Stocks, you often talk about cars that were never intended to be race cars. However, in this case, we're talking about cars that were intended to be race cars. They just didn't know that they'd be doing it in 2020. Uh-oh. Big hit. That might be a suspension killer. The Flying Hawaiian taking a shot at the left front after some over-rotation. And it might get worse down the back straightaway. Oh, it's tight. This is what I love about divisions, though, that don't drive great. Oh, your leader spins it out halfway out of turn number 2, still has the lead, and the Flying Hawaiian is going to get some pineapple on that pizza, takes the lead in the 100 car. Kimo Oreda in the 100, trying to now hold off Mackey in the 1. Hard racing for the lead. Out of turn number 4. 15 laps to go. And it's a heat race out of turn number 2 to determine who's going to be the leader in this one. Just behind them, Hannigan in the 16 as they get together through turn number 3. And the 100, uh-oh, I think we just lost a drive shaft. We have something here sitting as the caution flag comes out. Yep. It looks to me like a drive shaft. We're having some contact between your leader and the 27. And 27 saying, don't mess with me, I want a heat race today. Rightly so. Well, that's a big unfortunate there. Flying Hawaiian, the 100 machine out of Vacaville, Kimo Oreda. Not going to have a good finish here with the drive shaft falling out of it. I don't know if that car even made it all the way through the pit area, but we are sending the push truck off with the debris. Drive shafts. If you're newer to racing, in some cases, they're quite simple. In others, they can be very devastating. Drive shafts breaking can sometimes be one of the more dangerous and notorious for hurting drivers because of the rate that they're rotating at, and sometimes they'll come crashing through a floorboard. We've seen some stuff in the past where there's been some very dangerous moments when it comes to drive shafts. Luckily, it looks like that one just kind of broke off, and they no longer are continuing. 13 laps to go. Mackey is our leader. Unfortunately, reverting back to the lap, the leader that they have it on the board was the driver who's no longer on the track. However, at least we do have a skill show. Reverse driving is key if you're going to be an official here at Antioch Speedway. Look at that precision. Oh, a little bit of counter cornering. I think we're going back to racing. Yes, we are. Uh-oh, green flag. I don't know if they're going to call the 16 jumping on the start on that one. It didn't look pretty. I'm sure Mackey's probably screaming for it. Hannigan, on the other hand, is going, no, everything's good. We're fine. For the back of the pack, couple of the cars duking it out. The 121 machine of Jeff West. There's Mackey. Mackey looked good in the heats, and then either by choice decided not to push it at the end of the heat race, or potentially because something was going wrong. 56 over rotates. Ron Ruiz. Halfway this time by. Hannigan, your leader. Let's watch the one machine of Mackey here. Driving this car hard, trying to find a way to catch back up to Hannigan. I don't know if it's going to happen. Lap traffic could make things interesting. Battle for fourth. West trying to hold off the 56 of Ruiz. We almost had a car catch the wall as Mackey in the one. As we watch this, Roland Ron taking the fourth spot. And then here you see back to Hannigan, your leader. I'm going to slip back to Mackey one more time. I want us to watch the suspension on this car, especially through, Well, that was almost really bad. I don't think we'll get the show that I was looking for here. Mackey was bouncing that left front up and down the previous time through turns 3 and 4. I was seeing if we could catch that. Oh, yeah. Here's your leader, Hannigan. Closing up on trying to lap third place with 5 laps to go. Hannigan, if he's able to keep up the pace, will be able to actually lap the field. It will be a little difficult, but Mackey continues to push it. Determination still going through the veins of the one machine. As Hannigan will cross the line with 3 laps to go. A questionable restart, which was ruled by the officials to be good to go, which means it's good to go. And you notice with 2 laps to go, look at the setup they have on this car. Look at the left front compared to the right front. It's like sprint cars, but it's on the front end here. A big ass right front tire. Gotta love it. All right, white flag, 1 lap to go. A little bit of lap traffic being held up here. Checkered flag going to fly. The 16 machine of Joel Hannigan takes the victory. 3rd place crosses the line before 2nd place. Mackey going for an off-road excursion. And that is the vintage Hardtops. Always a fun class in Antioch Speedway. They have a great track for these cars and drivers. And we're still flirting with disaster even on the last laps here. There's Joel Hannigan. And we're going to send it down to Wiley Wade for the interview.
Down here in Victory Lane, Joel Hannigan taking home the win in the gangsta car here. Going to climb out through the roof. Congratulations, Joel. Good run.
Thank you.
Had to get around Mackey at one point.
Yeah, he's got a fast car, and the track's a little tricky. And I think we're early, and I don't think we're all quite prepared. But we made a last-minute change, came out a little late, gave the car owner kind of a heart attack. But hey, that's what the drivers are supposed to do, right?
So what was your last-minute change?
We changed tire pressure, wheel spacer. I was going to do some cross weight in it, but I decided to just drive it because we were running so late. So I just drove it the way it was after the tire pressure and the wheel spacer.
Any issues during that main event for you?
No, the car actually ran pretty good. It started to get a little hot. It's actually leaking over a little bit, about 220. That's not too bad, but you know, I'm used to it running around 200. So, you know, no, it ran pretty good actually.
Fun car to drive, I bet.
Yes, it's a cool car. It's got a cool story. It's a 34 Ford steel body, 34 Ford frame. It's the Bonnie and Clyde car. The same year, same everything. I told Doug we should put some bullet holes on it. And he said, "No, that might be bad luck." So,
Joel Hannigan taking home the win tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coming up, we got a little hot lapping to do, and then we're going to go dwarf car racing.
All right, dwarf car main event coming up next here from Antioch Speedway. Thank you for tuning in here tonight. We hope you're having fun. 3 main events still on the docket. There's the hot lap. I forgot to ask.
Winner of heat race number 1 out of Tracy, California. The 47 Double D of Mario Marquez with Charlie's High Performance Team sponsorship. Outside row 1. Winner of heat race number 2 out of Pleasanton, Moss Powder Coating. King's Roofing, murals by Victoria Morallo. It's the 40 car of Kevin Morallo. Row 2 on the inside. Winner of heat race number 3 out of Concord, Santa Clara Industrial. Tammy Biscardi and West Coast Mechanical Insulation sponsorship on the 75 car of Toby Brown. Outside row 2, the 0 double D of Butch Cusaro out of Tracy, Charlie's High Performance Machine, M&M Dwarf World sponsorship on that car. Row 3, the 812 Double D, Chance Russell on the inside out of Rio Vista. Outside, the 88 Double D out of Concord, King's Motorsport and TNT Racing sponsored 88 Double D, Travis Day. Row 4 on the inside, out of Pittsburgh, Conover Landscaping, M&M Chassis sponsored 52 Double D of Chuck Conover. On the outside, it's the 2019 defending Dwarf Car Champion here at Antioch. Out of Balico, A&J Hauling Reds, DiCarlo Racing Products, Contra Costa Diesel and Wagner Racing sponsor 21 Double D. That's Scott Dahlgreen. In the ninth starting spot on the inside of row 5, out of Pittsburgh, California, Finish Logic Powder Coating, Freedom Alarm and Wagner Racing sponsored 36 Double D, Dennis Gilcrease. On the outside of the 5th row in that 10th starting spot, Benecourt Brothers Construction, it's a 17 Double D of Jeff Benecourt. Row 6 inside in the 11th starting spot. Out of Dublin, California, Wagner Racing, Cam Racing and Grandma sponsored 18 Double D, Devin Cameraman. On his outside, Out of Tracy, California, it's the 04 Double D of Troy Stevenson. The 7th row on the inside. Out of Antioch, it's the 68 Double D of David Michael Rosa on his outside. Out of Bay Point, AJ Halling, Reds, DeCarlo Racing Products, Contra Costa Diesel and Wagner Racing, 31 Double D of Ellie Russo. Row 8 on the inside. Out of Alameda, California, sponsorship from me, myself, and I, it's the 4 Double D of Chris Becker. In the 16th starting spot on the outside of that row, out of Tracy, California, Charlie's Hard Performance Machine, M&M Dorfworld, and his wallet, the 01 car of David Cusaro. Row 9 on the inside. Out of Fairfield, California, Aquarius Enterprises sponsorship on the 51N of Bobby Johnson. 18th starting spot outside row 9, the 54G Double D of Michael Bauer out of Stockton, Nighthawk Defense Group, and MB Construction. Row 10 on the inside, out of Placerville, California, Reading Brothers Racing, Crane Inspection Agency, Betty's Pit Shack Girls. It's the 99N of Gage Myers. To his outside, Clayton Valley Auto Services, Nick Foster Jr., Nighthawk Security, Mom and Dad, and Lena's Lumpias, the 7XL of Roberto Monroy. And at the back of the pack, out of Concord, California, it's the OA car of Timmy Ryan. That's our starting lineup for tonight's main event for the Delta Dwarf cars.
Getting ready for Dwarf Car main event racing. Thank you, Wiley Wade. I love that name, Wiley Wade. It's perfect. Some of these announcers, they just know what's up. 20 laps of main event action as we get ready for the main event. To go green, watch the flagman. Green flag is in the air. Three wide for the lead down the back straightaway. Multiple cars getting all over the place. Some settling, filling out the new track, and a couple cars with issues over in turn number 3. Caution will fly. So the issue in turn number 3, we're making sure there were no additional issues as a couple cars come filing into this. 2 cars getting together. They're just waiting. A little bit of contact heading into the corner. The 04 machine of Stevenson. Looks like a lot of movement here for the 7. Where are you going? This was a car that had an issue in the heat races earlier today. Pulled it off prematurely. This is the car that I thought was going to go flying into turn number 1. Like I mentioned, Tommy and I have been here before, working with Antioch Speedway and doing some shows. And what we've done in the past, didn't do it today, but what we've done in the past is set up wall cameras. And I'll never forget when we were setting up a camera over in turn number 1, and we were talking about the possibility of that camera even being there at the end of the night. So, Monroy. Well, you can see how upset the driver is. Very frustrating, especially after sitting through the heat, getting this car together, probably multiple hands on deck, and for it to finish this way, really a grand total of just about no laps to show for the day. So a very disappointing day and early exit for the 7. 21 cars took the green flag. A great field of Dwarf cars. We'll continue with 20 of them. Stevenson in the 04 will restart on the back end of the field. 19 laps to go. So we did technically complete 1. Driver out of the car. Probably looking at the car saying, this isn't what I asked you for. Just frustration. It's one of those things, it's the weirdest feeling to describe, but sometimes the best feeling as a driver competing is knowing the car fires up for an event. The second best is completing the whole thing. As we get ready to return to racing, lap number 1, restart. Forty's gonna jump to the lead. One car off the pail, trouble. Caution flies again, this time 2 laps complete. The one thing that you learn as a cameraman is sometimes you see the wreck, you see it finish, but as we saw, 4 wide headed into turn 1, I was like, I don't think we ought to leave this either. Well, we saw the 47 get turned, looks like a potential over-rotation that ended in a big way. The 75 pulls away from it. Toby Brown, the 47 caught up in it of Mario Marquez, who had a solid heat race. So that's going to be, looks like a couple cars getting stuck over there. There's a third car that was involved. 88. Travis Day pulling away from the wreck. Looks like everything might be in working order. I mentioned one car looked off the pace. It was a 0 of Timmy Ryan. Now, Ryan had an issue also. I don't even think took the green, or at least didn't run many laps in the heat race earlier. So they've been suffering from some issues, and unfortunately we see the 47 DD machine of Marquez going up on the hook. Driver out of Tracy, California, yeehaw. I promise we're not trying to censor the front end of this. That is a pole. Look at that. Let's assess this this tow truck. Uh-oh. The tow truck's rolling. I got nervous for a second. So they reverted it back. We're back to lap number 1. They're saying we did not officially complete that lap. Some people were saying, man, this might be a quick night. Whenever you open your mouth and say that, whether you're a race fan, a track worker, the 47's driving, or a driver, anybody. The moment you state, hey, we're on a good pace, out the window. Not going to happen. And I heard someone say it earlier, and here we are. One to go. Your leader, the 40 machine, Kevin Morelio. I have that. The name looks like Miraglo. However, the pronunciation I have is Morelio. So, or maybe it's Morelio. You know, maybe it's a bad idea to ever hand me a microphone. Ever. However, y'all get to suffer with me. As we mentioned, the setup, though, here for Antioch Speedway TV, we're going to have a whole bunch of fun in the future as we get ready to go back to racing, watching for the flag. We're green. Morelio up to the early advantage. You see the trouble over in the turn and caution. And more trouble. This is what I'm talking about. Yeehaw. That's why you never only focus on the wreck. Unfortunately, it looks like troubles continue for the 04 machine. That's Stevenson. 88 was in this exact spot with a different car hooked to the front end earlier. That is Day. And the 0-1 machine of Casaro. So 3 more cars with issues. We saw one spin it out in turn number 2, or at least get sideways and have to back out of it. That was the 17DD machine. So I think this time they're saying we made it to lap number 2. Following this main event, we will have super stocks and then finishings off with the 360 winged sprint cars. You know that these drivers are giving the flagman a run for his money when he's like, I need to take a sit. Looks like all 3 cars are going to be able to move on from that incident. Nobody out from that one. Should mention the 47, we saw that car rolling, is not there. It's there. So Marquez not out of this. Only car out of this race is this one right here. See the driver continuing to assess it, work on it. A lot of attention looking into the suspension area of this car. As the lights are not off, we have double filed the field. Looking to see if they're ready. Lights are out. Let's go racing. Dwarf cars at Antioch Speedway. 2 laps complete of 20. Watch it for the green, and green flag. This battle right here for the second spot is heavy. And we got one car in the wall, off the wall now. It's the 75 machine. And the 54G machine with an issue off the track, out of the way. Gonna continue. Look at this race for second. So Brown in the 75 was able to continue on. Had caught the wall pretty good. We got some issues back here. There's Brown at 75. They caught the wall earlier. The 54G. Hold on. And your leader dealing with lap traffic. Morelio. Caution flag is out. Almost perfectly hidden from me was this 54G. Michael Bauer. Now I say G, it's because the G is the most obvious, but I think we got like a whole bunch of letters. G, D, D. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Bauer going for a few rides today. That car had already been lapped after an incident. Hey, longest green flag run for the Dwarf cars. Mark it here. We've done it, guys. We're looking pretty. 14 laps to go. We're on lap number 6 of this 20-lapper. Morelio, the leader. Take a look at our field. Devin Cameraman and the 18 machine. Cam, as it says, over the windshield. Leads over, looks like teammate car, the 21 of Scott Dahlgren. The 52 machine of Chuck Conover. And the 812 of Chance Russell, your top 5 cars. Telling them to double them up. Now, I have to wait for confirmation here. The 88 machine is right now sitting in the 6th spot, and that is Travis Day. However, we've seen Travis have a few issues already on track. If Travis is already up to 6th place, I think we ought to watch that car. That could be the run of the century. If not, hey, go Travis anyways. Hanging right up there now. Could be a lap down, though, is what I'm getting at. The 36 machine, Dennis Gilcrease, hanging right outside of the top 5. So a couple cars that have had issues, not looking like they're too out of it yet. Like I said, it could be reflective also of lapping and whatnot, but we'll keep you up to date with that one. We have our top 5 scoring pylon to keep us up to speed on who's in there as we look for the restart. Lap number 6. These restarts are crazy. Uh-oh, went around the 99 machine down the back straightaway. Single car spin, multiple cars piling in over in turns 3 and 4. The caution flies again. We might have knocked a few out this time. We talked about running in the 4th spot. The 52 machine was one of the cars that looked like 2 separate spins led to this incident. The 52 was one of them. So Chuck's day is looking a lot worse. The 4 machine involved Chris Becker. That car isn't, I don't like how close to the wall that one is. It might have caught the wall. There's our sensor bar. That is the 36 machine, the white car that you can't see in the numbers of Dennis Gilcrease. We talked about that car being near the top 5, at least track position-wise. On the 17 DD car, once again, ending up with an issue over in turn number 3. I don't have a name on the 17 on my notes, so that driver, just to add insult to injury, I don't even have the name. So I apologize about that. I mentioned the 99 machine spinning down the back straightaway. That was the first of the issues. Looked like it was just rotated out of turn number 4. The car wanted to do its own thing, despite how much the driver tried to talk him out of it, or talk it out of it. But that was Gage Myers going for that ride in the kind of Days of Thunder looking scheme. As I mentioned, though, I think we knocked a few cars out of this one, including the 52, which is a shame for Conover sitting in the infield right now. I have confirmation here. The 88 machine is in 5th. So that car, after getting caught up in 2 separate incidents, Travis Day in the 5th position. You'll see right there. Wait, now there goes the 88. Behind the 88 is the 00 machine of Butch, Mike Casaro. Then we have the 51 of Bobby Johnson sitting in the 7th position. 8th is the 31 of Ellie Russo. 9th is the 99 that looped it, Gage Myers. And 10th place, the 68 machine of David Michael Rosa. That was, by the way, I mentioned during the heats earlier that I heard there was a driver change. We went from David Rosa to David Michael Rosa. All right, let's look at some of these cars here. Let's see the damages. This is the 4 machine. When you're on the hook, that's not typically a great sign. I'm going to state the obvious with that one. 36 also on the hook. Waving at us, I'm sure. And then the 52 also going to get pushed off, and it looks like they're putting the 17 on the hook. So that might have eliminated 4 cars. Maybe a 20% decline in the field just from that wreck. That's a pretty big chunk of the field that we're going to potentially be losing there. So shame for all those drivers. It's been a wild one, these restarts. These drivers have not been able to really get away from each other, and it's resulted in a few moments. These cars just don't seem to really be in the track here tonight. And we've seen them go for a few rides. A lot of the spins haven't been off of contact. They've been off of overdriving the corner or getting sideways or looping it by themselves. So we'll see how that progresses in the final 13 laps. We're only closing in on the halfway point. They're still, let's see, I think I was gonna joke that they're still doing double file restarts, but we may have undid it. Yeah, so we're gonna single file them. Oh man, they're being punished. They took away double file restarts from these drivers. They said, look, we gave you 15 tries, and you guys have let us down 15 times. Going for the restart, watching for the flag. It's lap 7, green flag. I don't want to jinx it, but things did space out a little bit more on this restart. So we'll see if we can get ourselves a green flag run here. Battle for the lead, dang it. Dang it! I really thought for a second. I'm like, I think there's hope. I think we're gonna do it. But we didn't do it. Almost did it. But almost, we just didn't. So the 54 machine, looping it in turn number 2. Michael Bauer getting money's worth here tonight, pushing that car to the fine edge and not afraid to push it over. I mean, that's one thing they tell you as a driver, you won't learn until you do it, right? So pushing that car tonight, I love the no fear of Bauer. Unfortunately, that car's going the wrong direction and with assistance. So Bauer may be done for the night as well. 1 to go at the line. Now the flagman's like, what happened? I told you that I shouldn't have said anything about the hope that maybe us having a little bit of a cleaner looking, not cleaner, but a less stacked restart. Obviously them going single file. But we didn't quite do it. Lights are out. We are still on lap number 6. I'm going to keep my eye on this 18 machine because I feel like cameraman has got something for your leader. We're going to watch all of these drivers up here as we get ready for the restart, and we're racing again. I said Cam, and the 21 just left him in the dust. 88 diving to the inside of the 812. Is it possible that the car that's wrecked in 2 consecutive wrecks here tonight could be the one to get to victory lane? What a drive for the 88. Perseverance in that camp. See the 75 go for a bit of a ride. Continues on, no yellow. Oh, yeah. Contact there. And some lap traffic for your leaders. Aurelia holding on to that top spot over Dahlgren. Cameraman back to 3rd. Biggest battle here is for the 3rd spot. Here comes the 812 machine looking to the inside. Russell getting squeezed down. That's going to allow Travis Day to maybe mount a run here in the battle for 3rd. 9 laps to go. Two very different lines amongst your leaders. The 40 machine, comfortable with running a higher line. The 21 prefers it low. The gap has been pretty consistent The 40 drifts way up. And then the 21 has that drift on exit. But as I said, they seem to be very consistent right now with 7 laps to go. So Kevin's number 40 looks really good. Side by side here, battle for 6th with 6 laps to go. The 00 machine going to do the slide job. As Casaro holding off the 51 machine of Johnson. Your field working their way through turn number 4. And we catch your leader here, still sitting pretty, running high, wide, and handsome. 3 laps to go. Kevin does not want to see a caution flag come out. 2 laps to go left in this race. And we're going to get it there, folks. Oh, no, I said it. I said the thing you never say. Spin. Here comes your leader. Two laps to go. Almost contact with your leader. They're racing him hard. You got to be careful right now. Kevin Morelio holding on top. White flag in the air for your leader. Hard racing right now for the 4th spot. We'll get to that battle. The leader has all sorts of pressure from the 68, but that's just lap traffic. Battle for 2nd also starting to brew as we watch the 40 machine of Kevin Morelio taking the win. Double checker flag. Here's the battle for 2nd. Gonna go to the 21, and the battle for 4th will go to the 812. Coming out of turn number 4, the 47 machine. Mario Marquez lost a few spots. Looked like that car was ready to spin it out. Here is your final 5 finishers in this race. Dwarf car racing at Antioch Speedway. That was wild. These drivers were not afraid to push the limits here. As Kevin's going to take his number 40 car, put it over the scales. Man, I'm crossing my fingers so hard that I was saying that last name right. Crossing my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and send it to the true professional, Wiley Wade, here at Antioch Speedway, the voice of Antioch Speedway.
Kevin Morelio taking home another checkered flag here this year. Getting unbuckled inside his car. Getting the helmet off. And climbing out. There he is. Kevin, you're making a habit of this, getting checkered flags this month. 2 weeks ago, you took home the main event on Friday night and the Fast Dash on Saturday, and here you get another main event win. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, like I told you last week, I started racing. I raced my first 3 years here at this track. It's good to be back. I love, the Chad, the new promoter. He's doing a great job. It's too bad this coronavirus stuff's going on because. I think everything would be great right here, with the new promoter, and we got more people coming to the track, and yeah, I'm happy to be back in Antioch.
Man, no one could touch you. Even all the different race restarts you had to try to hold people off, you had no problem. I mean, I don't know if you knew it or not, but you were just far outclassed to this field tonight.
Last week when I was on Friday night, I guess I beat 2nd place by over a half a lap. I could have swore I heard somebody right behind me the whole race, and I could have swore I heard somebody behind me that whole race too. So
maybe they put a little speaker in back, make you think someone's back there to push you a little harder. All right, who helps you get on the racetrack each and every week?
Excuse me?
Who helps you get on the racetrack each and every week?
Victoria Morelio's Murals. I got a Big Dog Performance, and my girlfriend and My mom and her boyfriend are usually here to help me, but they're not here this weekend.
Kevin Moralio, winner of tonight's Dwarf Car main event. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you back out here in the next Delta Dwarf Car event coming up in just a couple of weeks. With that, I'm going to head upstairs and give you the lineup. We've got the Super Stocks coming up next.
Super Stocks making their way on to the racetrack. Wiley Wade making his way up to the booth to give us the starting lineup. Here for tonight's main event in the Super Stocks. These cars, actually, I gotta say, this is the most Super Stocks, this type of division that I've seen in a long time. So that's always encouraging. One IMCA stock car hanging out in the field as we go for the starting lineup.
It's our Super Stock starting lineup for tonight's main event. On the point out of Sacramento, Jay's Mobile Welding, DeCarlo Racing Products, Chad Hammer Racing Engines, Motion Media, sponsored 92 car. That's Jay Bryant. Outside the front row out of Antioch, Jay's Mobile Welding, BRG Racing and Dyno, Chad Hammer Racing Engine, DeCarlo Racing Products, sponsored 94 car. That's Chad Hammer. Row 2 on the inside out. Winner of heat race number 2 out of Danville, Cresco, Mark Scott Construction, Freethy Excavating, and Ryland Racing, sponsored 99 car, Jim Freethy. In the 4th starting spot, winner of heat race number 1 out of Petaluma, California, Adlai Crane, Williams Automotive, and Johnny Franklin, sponsored 11H, McLearn. Inside row 3, out of Antioch, Bass Medical Group and Heartburn Center of California, Fancy Hoofs, Stands, Transmission, and Differential in Byron, A&A Auto Parts. Antioch Muffler sponsored 13A, that's Mike Welko. In the 6th starting spot, out of Antioch, California, J. Keith Trucking, Hot Shots Motorsport Photography, A1 Transmission, Lloyd Engineering sponsored 77 car of Chris Long. Inside row 4, it's the 48 car of John Evans. In the 8th starting spot on the outside of row 4 out of Brentwood, his wife sponsors him. It's Joey Ridgway Sr. in the 111 car. Your 5th and final row on the inside. Out of Antioch, California, Pacific Building Incorporated, McKay's Pool Cleaning. It's the 22 car of Chris Bennett. On the outside, out of Nevada, with Mom and Dad, Grandpa John, and Grandma Patty sponsorship, Danica Gretzen. That's our starting lineup for the Super Stocks here on Antioch Speedway TV. Let's send it back out to Jeff.
"20-lap main event for the Super Stocks. And they're lined up ready to go. The 92 machine going to lead us to the start. Green flag is in the air. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work either. And yet it worked. They did it. They called me a liar to my face, and I love it. Woo! That was close. Well, one thing's for sure, Antioch Speedway TV is going to have a lot to offer with this kind of racing action. See the 3-wide 2x2 battles here into turn number 1. Leading the way is Bryant in that 92 car. Let's give you a full look as 3-wide into turn number 3. Oh! You gotta love dirt track racing. And you gotta love Super Stocks. It's Bryant over Freethy. The 13A machine of Walko holding on to that 3rd spot. The battle's for 4th with the 77 machine. Holding on to it, Chris Long over Learn. Learn looks to the inside in the 11. But not going to be able to complete. Notice how much these cars favor that inside line. At least the top 4 cars 77, the first one to branch out to the high side, maybe looking for that cushion. Gonna find it, but the wall comes up pretty quick as well. 15 laps to go. I think the 77's got something. I think Long is making something happen here where no one else is willing to go, and that will open up the opportunity to pass for the 77 cars we often see with these short track races. 13 laps to go. The 77 might be the one to watch. Looking for third. Next up, the 99 is going to go, what do you mean there's a car high? Learn is learning. Out of turn number 2. Oh, you should have known I was going to make a stupid joke at some point. But he makes that move to the outside. Lap traffic for your leaders. The 111 is off. Bennett of the 22 goes low, and that's going to open it up for the 77 to make a move to the outside. Here comes Long, going the long way on the racetrack. The 92 staying committed to that inside line, and the 11 has learned to go to the outside and follow the 77. More lap traffic. Watch out into turn number 3. Contact just a bit. 10 laps to go at the line, and I think it's going to come down to these 3 cars for the win. Now Bryant, oh, the 77 on the wall. Learn is going to make a move. What a move by the 11. And that's going to allow the top 5 cars to now be under a blanket as Bennett pulls it off the track in the 22. 2 cars off the race. It has been wild, and it will continue to be. Battle in the top 4, you see it there. 13A not too far back. Learn is your leader with the advantage over Bryant. 77 had the advantage until got the wall. And letting that 11H by might have been all it's going to take for Learn to take this one home. 8 laps to go. Sideways, side by side for second. Battle for second on the screen. The 99 just looking for a way to go. Really feels good. It just can't find a path to go. Both lanes are taken up. 6 laps to go on the board. This one has been green from the beginning. And the 77 again trying to get that advantage down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Oh boy. I think Freethy says it's time to go 3 wide. This really tells me that apparently these cars do not trust that middle lane because there's a huge gap between these 2 cars. Learn is pulled away, full straightaway lead at this point. It'll be 3 laps to go at the line. There you see the 11's advantage. This is the battle for second. Learn took advantage, and who knows where that 11 car would be in this pack if he didn't make that move when he did it. Lap traffic's going to come into play. 2 laps to go, and there it is. Bryant not willing to get up that inside line, and he's going to lose 1 spot, 2 spots. This is going to be 3 out of turn number 2. Willing to go solo. We went on the apron for that. Battle for second continues as the white flag is in the air. A daring move to the inside, middle, through a 3 wide, threaded the needle, and it paid off for Mike Learn. The 11 machine's going to take this one to victory lane. Freethy takes the 2nd spot, and Long settles for 3rd. I saw it coming. I told you that 77 was coming, but the 11's the one who took what the other drivers were learning. Looks like a little bit of conversation between these 2 drivers. I'm guessing that Long was not happy. These 2 were racing very tight in those final laps, and as we saw, Freethy was able to come ahead, but your winner, Learn in the 11H. Letting other people be the guinea pig. and then using that to your advantage. What a sneaky driver. So Learn's going to pull it into victory lane here at Antioch Speedway, and we're going to send it down to Wiley.
As Mike Learn pulls up to victory lane, taking the steering wheel off, getting ready to hop out of his super stock on this beautiful Saturday. Hey Jeff, if you got a minute real quick, stow the moon up there for me on the camera while we're waiting for Mike to pan out. Ladies and gentlemen, as we do each and every time we have a full moon or almost a full moon, it is time before our last feature of the night to howl at the moon. Please join in with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ow! We should have done that a little earlier. Hopefully that all works out okay. We got the Wing Sprint Cars coming up next. All right, here he comes. Back to victory lane, Mike Learn. It took you a little bit to get around that 92 car of Jay Bryant, but once you did, you pulled away, and now you got a little bit of overheating problem here.
Yeah, I got sandwiched early and went all the way, I think, to the back. But, we've been coming over here trying some stuff, and I think we might have finally hit it.
So once you got around around the 92 car, you pulled away. How was the track for this car?
I loved it. The track's really good. It's very consistent. So it's got some dry spots, but it's a good track. It's a very good, solid track. So.
Well, congratulations. Who helps you get out on the racetrack each and every Saturday night?
Well, on my crew, I've just got my brother-in-law Fred here. My sponsors, Adlite Crane, Johnny Franklin's Mufflers, Williams Automotive, and Brandon Tire.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Taking home tonight's Super Stock win. And with that, we got one race left. We're going Wing Sprint Car racing up next. Right here on Antioch Speedway TV.
Well, congratulations to Mike Learn in the number 11H, bringing it home. What a great run. Good racing put on. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we've seen these super stocks a little bit more south, but it's been a long time since I've seen a car count like this, so that's always great to see this many cars in this kind of field. So that in itself is awesome. But as we said, the last main event coming up, it is time for the sprint cars, and Wiley Wade going to give us the starting lineup.
.360 Wing Sprint Car main event up next, our final race of the evening. On the point, pitstopusa.com, TI-22 Performance Quick Car Racing Products, Johnny Franco Muffler sponsorship. On the 38 car of Colby Johnson, he's out of Pengrove, California. Outside the front row, it's Caleb Montgomery in the 3 car, inside row number 2. Out of Redding, California, winner of heat race number 2, Mitri Construction, Shark Racing Engines, Kevin Serra Designs, and Area Helmet sponsorship on the 2X. That's Chase Magic. In the 4th starting spot, outside row 2, winner of heat race number 1 out of Benicia, Bill Aton Painting, D&H Construction Services, MTF X Graphics. It's the 26 car of Billy Aton. In the 5th starting spot, out of Stockton, California, Teltac, SB Properties, Sorali Farms, Pinella Racing Engine sponsorship on the 32 car. That's Caden Sorali out of Stockton, California. Your 6th starting spot out of Concord, California, Swindell Speed Labs, Melrose Powder Coating sponsorship on the 88A. That is Joey Rocket Anacana. In your 7th starting spot, out of Ramos, California, North County Plastering, Sandblast Services, Alkaline 88 Water, Roadside 24 Service, and Stites Towing sponsorship on the 17 car of Justin Sanders. In the 8th starting spot, out of Brentwood, California, Moeller Brothers Body Shop, Contra Costa Radiator, Joel Shaver Backhoe Service, and Linex sponsorship on the 6th car of Matt DiMartini. Your 9th starter, out of Byron, California, Keating Performance, JBR, CH Reynolds, and S&S Automotive sponsorship on the 68 of Jason Bright. Your 10th starting spot, out of Rohnert Park, California, Infoam Mechanical, Afex Graphics, and Metcalf's Machine sponsorship on the 78 of Brett Barty. Your 11th starter, out of Sparks, Nevada, Superior Hydraulic sponsorship on this car. It's the 49 of Mike Monahan, excuse me. And the 12th starting spot, out of Livermore, California, Bay Area Tile, Moss Brothers Powder Coating, it's Travis Labatt. In your 13th starting spot, our 2019 360 Wing Sprint Car champion here at Antioch Speedway out of Oakley, Linex Customs, Black Bear Diner in Oakley, Contra Costa Radiator in Rio Vista, Diablo Pools, and Despite Clothing. It's the 87P of Jacob Tuttle. Your 14th starter, out of Campbell, Keating Performance sponsorship on the 4 car of Bert Folan Jr. And at the back of the pack, if he makes it out of Redding, California, Mitri Construction, Shark Racing Engines, Kevin Sahara Designs, and Area Helmets. It's the 2 XM of Mitri. He scratched in his heat race. And I'm not seeing him out here. I think he scratched for the night after getting into the wall during hot laps down in turn number 1. With that, that's our final lineup here on Antioch Speedway TV's debut night, August 1st, 2020. Now let's send it out with the call of the race with Jeff.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard there, the final one, Antioch Speedway TV. What a debut night it's been. You know, we've gone both ways here tonight. We've had a race go all green, and we had a race that couldn't get 5 laps in. So, since we've had, I'd say, 2 pretty clean races, and 1 really crazy race, as far as attrition, do we statistically say that this is the race that we can anticipate is going to be a little bit crazy? Unfortunately for these drivers, maybe the other divisions got away with it. I don't know so much about the dwarf cars, but Wiley Way did point out that that moon looks pretty full enough. It's a full enough moon. And if you've been going to the races long enough, you know that superstition says a full moon night, well, things might not be so right. And we're going to see what happens here at Antioch Speedway for the Wing Sprint cars. So they get up to speed. How would you like to be this guy? Braver than I am. That's for sure. Maybe this is one of our entries. He's just missing the wing. Ha. All right. Well, I mean, I'll take it. That's for sure. 20 laps on the board for the Wing Sprints. Kobe Johnson will be starting us from the pole spot. Caleb Montgomery outside. That is your front row starters. You got the full lineup. A beautiful field here tonight. We mentioned, or I should say that Wiley Wade mentioned that we did have a car that wrecked during the hot laps, caught the wall into turn number 1. 14 cars with the lights out as we get ready for main event action. It's time to go racing. The final main event of the night here at Antioch Speedway. Watching for the light, watching for the flag. Throttle time, we're racing. Wing sprints into turn number 1. Side by side out of turn number 2. It's going to be a drag race. The 38 machine with the advantage over Caleb Montgomery. We got one around over in the corner. Still staying green right now is the battle, but that car's going to stall it out. The caution will come out. Two laps. Better average than some of our other main events tonight. But they didn't top the super stocks, unfortunately. So we have our car with an issue over here. That is Tuttle in the number 87 machine getting some assistance. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. These cars do not have starters. They were made deficiently of them. Old school, man, old school cars. At least the style. They're like, we don't got room for no starter. So they don't get one. Tuttle's car, single car spin over in turns 3 and 4. And that is going to leave us with 18 laps left in this main event for the 360 wing sprint cars. So with that, 1 to go, we will be back to racing. Lights are going to go out. That leaves us with Colby Johnson on the top spot. The 3 machine of Montgomery into second, and then up to third. Started in row number 2, but up to third. The 26 machine, Billy Adon. The 88 car has found himself in 4th with the 17 in 5th. 88 piloted by, oh, look at this. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. Restart lap number 2. Green flag's in the air. It's not often you see bumpers get used. Yikes, that was tight out of turn number 2. The 17 flirting with the wall. Your leader has pulled away from the field. The battle is for second on back. Get an idea of these multi-battles down the back straightaway. Side by side. Oh, they're leaning on each other. Near contact out of turn number 4. Aton in the 26 machine has separated himself from this battle and is now charging after your leader. The rest of the field swinging on by. Johnson in the 38 machine. Over Aton. Montgomery. Here's the battle for the 5th position. Magic on the outside, the 2X machine, the 88. And Kana on the inside. Gonna kind of slide in, and looks like we got ourselves on pace for a nice little green flag run here. Means lap traffic is going to come into play. What does that mean for your leader? Find out, you gotta be careful. Trouble over in turns 1 and 2. And that'll bring out the yellow at the halfway point in this main event. The 68 machine going for a spin. Jason Bright going to get an assistance from those bright blinking lights behind. So Colby Johnson right now, if you're in Colby Johnson's seat, you felt pretty good. 10 laps, you haven't really seen anybody throw any threats. You're probably feeling pretty good. However, you take a look at the driver just behind you, the 26. The car's been motoring and looking for a little bit of an advantage. See a little smoke coming out of Magic's car in the 2X. Montgomery in the 3rd spot. '17 holds 4th. And the 88 of Ancona has slipped back. Just outside the top 5 in 6th. 7th place is the 32 machine of Caden Serali. And we get ready for the restart. 10 laps to go, we're green. The 17 has threaded that needle on that outside line multiple times. Not afraid to do it. Magic getting a lot of pressure and Connor to the inside and Connor to the outside. Magic gonna pull on the crossover move into turn number 1. Oh, and the 2 machine. 2X is gonna clip and look like the tire. 360, never lift and keep going. No yellow, but that car might have suspension damage. Continues on. Battle for the lead. Anton got a great run out of turn 4 that time through the offensive on Johnson. Johnson was able to hold off. Thought maybe that was going to be it for the 38. Look at Anton just worked it through the center of that corner. Has not been afraid to throw it on the high side, and a huge problem over turn number 2. The 6 machine up and over. Red flag is out with 4 laps to go. It'll be 6 laps to go. See the driver moving from inside the car. Red flag is out here at Antioch Speedway. Driver is okay. So, you know, that's one of those weird kind of feelings you get when you're at a track without fans, is you're used to that applause after that, but we did get it from the back straightaway. 6 car going for a big ride, and this might have had a lot to do with it here. As you see the tractor tire being moved back to the apron. We were keeping an eye on that battle for the lead at the time. And this is one of those times where Tom and I, like I said, we do typically set up a whole bunch of extra shots around the track. And now I can do nothing but kick myself. This track here at Antioch Speedway, we talked about how wild and crazy these races can be. Well, now we are going to be setting up, gearing up for a wild and crazy run. You do see the driver there, surveying, looking over the damage. But walking away, that's the most important part. So Matt DiMartini going for the ride of the night, unfortunately. And that car is toasted. So where does that leave us? The 38 machine is our leader, has been able to hold off for the time being the 26. So Colby Johnson, you got to imagine that the pressure's on there for sure, as multiple times have gotten a couple looks from the 26, Billy Atton. So Billy's going to be one to watch here on this restart. As they do, you see tow away the number 6 machine. This is going to be a mad dash to the finish as they finish cleaning this one up. We'll be back for more in a moment. Mentioned the couple cars that we have battling for the lead. I need to throw Sanders into the mix in the 17 machine. That yellow car has really been doing a fine drive, working his way forward. We did have some eyes on that incident to kind of recap what did happen there with the 6 of DiMartini. Clipped the inside tire that we saw them rolling back. The 2 cars were battling. We didn't see which was the other car that was to his outside. Just looked like 2 drivers kind of not really wanting to give up too much real estate amongst each other. And the 6 machine working that inside line, such a fine edge, and unfortunately clipped the tire. Upon clipping the tire, that car launched the left side into the air. And when it landed, that's when the car started tumbling. A hard land on the roof, as you saw how messed up the wing was. But obviously good to see the 6 car out and walking. Matt DiMartini. Six laps to go. What we've seen so far tonight, the question will be, do we get spared by the full moon, or does it come back to howl at us once more? Colby Johnson wants to know, am I in good shape? We'll see. This could be the last restart. It might not be. So Colby Johnson, your leader, the 26 of Billy Atton, second. Sanders in the 17 machine is third. The 3 of Montgomery, fourth. And the 88 of Ancona rounds out the top 5. Six laps to go. One car returning to the racetrack. It's the 68 of Jason Bright. Car pulled off at the time of the yellow. After a wild ride by Matt DiMartini in the number 6 machine over in turn number 2. Flipping over, landing hard. Lights are out. Saturday night shootout here at Antioch Speedway for the wing sprints. Johnson, Atton, Sanders. Green flag. Great restart for Johnson. Sanders slips way wide as he's done most of these, but it did look like he got a good advantage. Slide job on Atton. Atton holds him off. Hard battling throughout the pack. You see it there through the corner. Johnson with a good lead. If these cars bring out a yellow, that could be wild. Johnson continues to hold a good lead. The battle's for second. Sanders looking for a way around Anton. Anton trying to hold up on the outside line. He does it. 3 laps to go. There's your top 3. Not a great corner there for Johnson. Looks like he's going to lose some time to Anton. 2 laps to go. Sanders is trying to make his move. Johnson wants to see that white flag, and he's got it. White flag in the air. Sanders got around for the second spot. Johnson bobbles a little bit out of turn number 2, but it's not going to matter. Out of turn number 4, the 38 machine of Johnson takes the victory in the wing sprints tonight. Colby Johnson holding him off, a hard charge. Despite all the pressure he was getting earlier. Oh yeah. Despite all that pressure on the previous green flag run, Johnson really put it to them on that restart. It wasn't going to matter. Sanders getting around Anton for the second position. Montgomery and Kana, your top 5. That's just good stuff. Antioch Speedway TV, your destination for racing from Antioch. Obviously, we can't wait to have the fans back here in the grandstands. There's always that piece missing without all of you here at the track. We want to thank each and every one of you for your support here on Antioch Speedway TV. And we're going to send it down for the winning interview.
Waiting for Colby Johnson to work his way around. Real quick, thanks for tuning in again to Antioch Speedway TV, our new platform for our races here streaming at Antioch Speedway. Also, don't forget we have a new official Facebook page, Antioch Speedway by Promotions. Antioch Speedway by Promotions is the new Facebook, the official Facebook page. That's the place you want to go like and share and watch. With that, he's saying, getting congratulations from family, friends, and crew. Have them come on up. Colby, get your helmet off and come on over. Oh, he's going to do a climb first. Colby Johnson, driver of the 38 wing sprint car. Taking the helmet off, taking the head sock off. Go ahead and take that. Hey, congratulations. What a run.
God, that was a really hard race, you know, especially being the leader out there. You have no idea where the track is. Luckily, I got that red flag, and they told me to run the top in 1 and 2, but I didn't feel like fast enough, so it was crazy to pull it off, and man, I'm just so thankful.
I don't know if you knew it or not, but during the center part of that race, you had a lot of pressure coming from the 26 Billy Aton. Could you feel that?
Yeah, I knew I wasn't running the right line because coming out of 4, I just blow the tires off completely bad, so like I was saying, thank God for that red. I moved up to the top and had a little bit of a more secure lead.
It gave yourself a little cushion once you got up there, and congratulations on taking home the win here tonight.
Awesome. Yep, thank you very much.
Who do you want to thank for getting you out on the racetrack?
Yeah, everyone go follow Pit Stop USA on all social media accounts and go check them out. They do so much for me, and Johnny Franklin Mufflers, Quick Car, and Ty 22, and got to thank my family and Eric and Jason. They bust their ass today, and yeah, I couldn't be happier for them.
Congratulations, Colby Johnson, taking home the win in the 360 wing sprint cars here tonight at Antioch Speedway. That's going to do it for our racing action. I'll take that from you. And a reminder for next Saturday night right here on Antioch Speedway TV, we have the Modifieds. The IMCA Modifieds going to be here, the IMCA Sport Modifieds, the Hobby Stocks, and the Valley Four Bangers, all for your racing enjoyment right here live and direct on Antioch Speedway TV. Keep an eye on our website at www.antiochspeedway.com, on the Facebook page Antioch Speedway by Promotions, and on my Antioch Speedway announcer pages on YouTube and Facebook for all the latest news, notes, and information. And with that, I'm going to send it back upstairs to Jeff for our final goodbyes for the night. I'm Wiley Wade. Thanks, everybody.
Well, folks, as we said, we want to thank each and every one of you for your support, tuning in here tonight. What a great show from Antioch Speedway. Great racing. We got a little bit of everything. Fast cars, clean races, wild races, carnage, flips. Oh, man. We got just a little bit of everything here at Antioch Speedway, and you can expect that every weekend when you tune in on Antioch Speedway TV. I'm Jeffrey Best with Low Budget TV. I want to thank these guys for having me out here, and really excited to help them kick off Antioch Speedway TV again. Like they said, pay close attention to all of the social media forums here for Antioch Speedway. They will keep you up to date on just about everything from Antioch Speedway TV and Antioch Speedway. I'm Jeffrey Best signing out from Low Budget TV. You all have a great night, and we will see you next time from Antioch Speedway.
So to go to feed the stream, we just have to be plugged in, and it knows where to go, right? There's nothing we have to do special. We got to tell them where to. Well, yeah, let them know we're broadcasting. But as far as putting an address in or something.